Hello guys, welcome back to another video here on the Banjo Addict page. Thank you so much for pushing that play button. Today we're going to talk about straps. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the proper way to mount them to your banjo. Alright guys, the first thing I want to discuss is the way people wear their strap on their shoulder. Some people will wear it just across the right shoulder like this and have it hooked to their banjo and let the banjo hang off their shoulder just like this, which I've never really liked, just for the sheer fact of the banjo always slides down. It always is. It won't stay on your shoulder all the time. It'll slide down. So I've never really liked this way. As far as hooking it into the banjo, which we'll talk about later, it's still the same. But some people like wearing it on the right shoulder like that. And you'll see the strap, you know, the skinny straps across the right shoulder like this. But I've never liked it because it's never let the banjo, it's never felt sturdy. And I always feel like I'm grabbing the strap and pulling it up on my shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Like it's never like really felt secure. Then of course the other way is across your head like this, which this is the way I like the best because the strap gives the banjo sturdiness like this. It'll hold it. You ain't worried about it moving. You ain't grabbing it and trying to pull the strap back up on your shoulder. It's always pulled against your shoulder right here. So this is how I like to wear mine, across behind my head and across the shoulder, across the left shoulder, and not just a single strap. And that's the reason why that's the way I do it. All right guys, as most of y'all probably know, most of guitars have a peg on them that you can hook a strap to tie your strap to the guitar to hold it on the, usually right under the neck, on the heel right here is one, and then they have one on the bottom where you just, you know, attach a strap to it and boom, you're done. But a lot of your banjos don't have the same thing. They don't put a peg on it in order to mount a strap to. Now, there is some that mount a peg to it to mount a strap to, and they may look something like this right here. If I can get this thing to stand up and be right. But they look like this right here, and you hook your strap into this, and then, you know, they have it mounted to the banjo. Some banjos have these on there. I hate these. Don't ever use these. If these are on your banjo, don't hook them into this. A couple of reasons. Number one is they're usually never in the right spot. They're never mounted in the right spot to support your banjo on you. Also, these things are just chintzy. They will, the ring will pull apart, and I've seen people drop banjos because these things come apart and their banjo falls. So if this is on your banjo, don't even use this. Don't even think about it. So the first thing I want to do, guys, is kind of go through the different styles of banjo straps and what I use them for. Now, everybody uses them in different situations. Everybody has their own preferences. I'm just going to tell you the way I use straps and the reason why I use straps that way, and then you can come up with your own decision on how you want to mount your straps. The first ones I want to go over are a couple of straps that I absolutely hate. Number one is this strap right here. It's got a string hanging off the bottom of it, and the string ties to wherever, and then that's what holds your banjo. Gives no support around the hooks on your banjo or nothing. You just tie it around there, and it's just kind of there, and it's strings. I just don't like it. I mean, I just don't like it at all. The other side wraps around to the bottom, and you tie it off, and the strap itself is fine. If I could turn this strap into something else, I would. I think this is made more for a guitar, actually, now that I'm looking at it, because it's got the deal where it fits around a guitar peg. And then they've kind of adapted it to a banjo by putting these strings on there. But this is just absolutely horrible. I mean, it's terrible. The next style of banjo strap that I do not like are ones with the closed end like this on the end of it. Now, like again, this strap itself is fine. I have no problem with the strap itself. I have a problem with the end, because with these ends of the closed looped end like this, you have to take one of the hooks out of your banjo and then slide it through here, and then hook the hook back up on your banjo on the tensioning hoop, and then tighten it back down. I don't ever like anything that I've got to remove pieces from the banjo to install. If I've got my banjo set up, I don't want to be taking hooks and stuff loose to be hooking stuff onto it. So anyways, that's the second style, and they come in all kinds of different styles of this to where the straps, but to where it's a leather strap and it's a closed end, or it's a whatever strap and it's a closed end. The closed end ones that you can't, like, it's closed in, I'd stay away from. Now we're going to get into some straps that are pretty universal. Now this type of strap right here, I'm just going to tell you, I use this type of strap. It's a 2-inch wide, just a standard old cloth strap. This is my go-to strap. This is the strap that I use on all my practice banjos because they don't carry a lot of weight to them because they don't have tone rings usually on my practice banjos, and they're a lot lighter. And so these plastic ends right here will hold up a lot better if it's not a heavy banjo. Like my Deering Sierra or any other banjo that I have that's a high-end banjo, that's you know, a costly banjo, anything that can't be easily replaced, I would not use these styles on. Don't use these on your high-end banjos. These work well for practice banjos, and these are the clip type that just clip into the hooks on either side. And then the final strap type, guys, is what they call a Chicago screw style strap, I guess you could say. And I'm going to see if I can this is what I use on my Deering Sierra. This is what they call a Chicago style banjo strap. On the end, it's got this strap that's a pretty thin strap, but it gets into a big, thick banjo strap like this. And this one here, and this one's padded, that I use on my Deering Sierra, that I have it on my shoulder. It gives a lot of support, a nice wide strap, and it gives a lot of support. It's really soft right here. The only thing about this strap right here, the only reason I do not like this strap is because I can't put my banjo in my banjo case and carry it around with this strap because the lid won't shut. I can't get it wrapped around the banjo and everything enough for me to be able to close my lid for some reason. It puts a lot of tension on it, and I just don't like it. So that's the only reason I really don't like this strap. Other than that, I love it. But a Chicago style strap, of course, the strap, and then you come down to the end, well, they have Chicago style screws. And if you don't know what a Chicago style screw is, let me just see if I can get this to, if you can see those right there, they're two different screws. This screw right here, and what these do is your one screw screws into the other one. And they call it a Chicago style screw, and then it forms this right here, which is an attachment, I guess you could say, where they screw together. So that way you can put it through the strap and then screw the other one through the other side, and it holds it. What you do is you take a strap and you put it through the hooks on your pot assembly and wrap it around like so. And then you take one end of this Chicago screw and you put it through the back side. Comes through the other side, and it makes that enclosed loop, but it's not, you don't have to take any hooks off. You can wrap it around and make your own enclosed loop with this. And then you just take the other side. This screw is pushed through these holes in here. So it's got holes in the strap, and you just line them up, push the screw through there, and on the other side, you put the other one on there. I can do this without dropping it. And then you screw those two together. And that makes a pretty sturdy hook right here, and I trust this on my banjo. All right, guys, now let's talk about mounting it to your banjo. Now, I'm gonna start off with the leather strap like the one I've got here and kind of show you how I've got my setup on my Deering Sierra banjo here. I've got it to where it wraps around and under the hooks around on your pot assembly, all the way up to the one, which I'm OCD about neatness. And so I took it on the outside and then wrapped it back around the underneath side, and then put the Chicago screw through from the back, and then put the other side, you know, on the front side, wherever it's at right here, just because I didn't want that flap sticking out there in the back. But anyways, I wrapped it all the way around underneath every one of these, all the way up here to the hook right in front of the neck. And then I let it come out here, which that's kind of my pivot point, I guess you could say, on the strap. So I hooked it down here, but I've let it run all the way up to here. You can kind of really hook it on any of these that you want to. That I have to be a certain one. I just like it being on around the pot assembly myself underneath, and then wrap it around and let it come out here on the end right here on this last hook, and then up around the heel on the neck. And you have to kind of adjust it, you know, however you want to do it. However you want to do it right here around the heel of the neck of the banjo. But I don't like it if it gets down below that heel right there. It bothers me, so I've always got to pop it up onto that heel. But anyways, that's how it's set right here. And then as you can see, my strap really don't get down here to be hitting it you know, it's right there at it, but it don't hit it. But the main thing is just to get that pivot point to right here on the banjo. That way, that's where the holding's at. When you get it on down here underneath, that gives you kind of a support, you know, around the whole more surface area that the banjo's kind of sitting and holding on, I guess you could say. You ain't putting all this pressure on that one hook, but any of them hooks down through here that you want to hook it to should be fine, because that's kind of what holds your banjo up, really. It's the one that keeps it like this right here, where it ain't moving around with you. Now on the back side, which I've got to redo this because I just had to put it back on for now, but the back side really don't matter. Just the only thing I don't like is I don't like getting this down around the tailpiece. Try to keep it in between where your armrest is at and the tailpiece. Try those little hooks right there. Just always try to keep your back one on those hooks right there, and don't get it around the tailpiece, and don't get it up here on this because it's usually too high up. So usually around here is pretty good. The reason why that you want to hook your banjo back here in front of the tailpiece and then have it under this hook right here is because you're not below center line on your banjo with your straps. If you was to hook your straps down here and say down here, which is fine, and it's wrapped around it and it's holding it, but what happens is if you lean over or you do anything, your banjo's gonna flop. It's gonna flop out, and you don't want that. That sucked. Now guys, with the straps, like if you've got a hook style strap like this, what I try to do is I'll get down to the, you know, third or fourth hook here. It really don't matter which one. I usually go to the furthest one, which is the fourth hook on mine, and I clip it on there, and then I just clip it on backwards. Like I said, I try to hook it on the third or the fourth hook here on the pot assembly, and then I come across, and again, same thing down here on this other side, is I try to hook it in right before the tailpiece on the banjo. And then when I get it strapped, it's strapped down here about the fourth one right here, and it's strapped right here, which like I said before, this is below center line point on the banjo. And so you just have to know if you're using this type of strap and you're going to do that. I've got it kind of wrapped around, you know, here, and then coming under the neck like I said before. And it sits here. You know, it don't move. It don't whatever. I've got the back one hooked in right in front of the tailpiece, and this one about, you know, a quarter way around the head of the banjo. You can't really go under the hooks with these type straps, but I think this is fine, just like this. Just understand that if you lean forward, that your banjo could want to flop out. See that? It'll want to where that can happen. All right, guys, thank you for watching the video. If you've enjoyed the content, please consider smashing that like button, guys, because it helps out tremendously. With that being said, we will see you on the next video.